Hello everyone, today we will repeat one very unusual type of street food from Taiwan. The fact is that they came up with a recipe for the softest sponge cake in the world called Castella. And those who have tried such a biscuit are sure that in addition to the fact that it is soft as possible, it can also be eaten in its pure form even without drinking, since it's very wet. In the bakeries of Taiwan, they bake a huge sponge cake, then cut them into pieces and sell it. And sometimes whipped cream is also used as a filling. Let's repeat the softest biscuit in the world. Let's go! We will need a very large number of eggs. We open them up. Then break them. And very carefully open the shells so that the yolk remains intact. If at least one yolk breaks, then nothing's going to come out of this. We break 204 eggs. We have a container full of eggs. Now they need to be divided into whites and yolks. It is very simple to do this. We take the yolk in our hands, the protein slips between our fingers and simply separates until the force of gravity. We also do this as carefully as possible so as not to crush the yolk. And do this until we've divided every single one. Done. Now we need a huge saucepan, into which we pour 3.4 liters of milk. Then we open up a bottle of oil. Pour out 900 milliliters. We're also going to need some butter. We open it up. This briquette of butter weighs 5 kilograms. We need exactly half. We take 2 burners, light them, and put this bad boy on there to heat up. In a bowl, break the butter into smaller pieces. Heat the milk so that the butter is completely melted. Meanwhile, we measure the flour on the scales. We need 3.4 kilograms. Pour the flour into the pan. Knead first with a spatula. And then with a whisk to break out the lumps of flour. When the mass has become homogeneous, we set all the chicken yolks and mix it all until smooth. We will cook the biscuit in a wood-burning oven. It needs to be warmed up in advance, therefore we will chop some wood. We lay out the firewood with a well. And we throw some small chips inside. And ignite it all with a burner. When the chips have flared up, we push the firewood inside. Now we let the oven warm up. We put a container with the egg whites on the table, as well as the bowl into which we pour 4 packs of sugar. We also need an industrial mixer. In a measuring cup, we collect 400 milliliters of egg whites, pour them into the bowl of the mixer, and whisk them. As soon as the foam begins to appear, we collect the sugar and gradually pour it in. And whisk the egg whites already to a very dense foam. Done. We put them into a saucepan. And carefully mix this foam into the dough. We load the egg whites into a second time. By the way, I almost forgot. Be sure to add vanilla and whisk the whites again. While all this is being whipped up, we throw more firewood into the stove. We send the second portion of proteins to the pan. We continue to whisk and mix the proteins until they run out. It took us 4 hours. Meanwhile, the stove is already warmed up as well. We remove all the coal from it with a shovel. Very carefully mix the last whipped whites into our dough. It turned out to be unrealistically easy. Now we take an iron bath, put a mold into it, and pour oil in it. We spread it evenly out across the walls with our hand. Lay out some parchment paper. Now we pour out our dough. And now the most important thing. To make the sponge cake even wet, pour hot water into the lower bath. And push the baking tray into the depth of the stove. That's it. We close the oven with 2 shutters in order to keep the temperature we need at 160 degrees for as long as possible. While our biscuit is baking, open the cream with a fat content of 35% and pour 1 liter into the bowl of the mixer. We start whipping at medium speed. When they begin to thicken, we increase the speed to the maximum and gradually add sugar. And gradually add sugar. Three minutes and the cream is whipped. We put a large pastry bag on a high container and transfer the whipped cream. And transfer the whipped cream into the bag using a silicone spatula. We take out the bag. Four hours later, we open the oven. And it looks like our biscuit is ready. We put on some gloves and take it out. We put a bath on top of it and turn it over onto the other side. We remove the main baking sheet and tear off the parchment. We apply a cutting board and carefully turn the biscuit over. In my opinion, everything worked out for us and the biscuit is very soft. And when pressed, it makes a sound like a sponge. Let's cut it up. It turned out really soft, just like a squishy toy. Cut the piece lengthwise. And squeeze out some whipped cream. Cover with the second piece of sponge cake, and let's try. Hi everybody, today we have 3 sets of products. For one for $10 and for the other $100, we will cook French fries from each of them. In the set for $1, we have salt, a little bit of butter, and potatoes are waiting for us. First of all, we will peel it. Now we cut the potato into slices. chop it into straws. I decided to make a form factor of these potatoes, about like a McDonald's. We shift the fries into some cold water. And give some time for the excess starch to come out of the potatoes. We spread out some paper towels. We take out the potatoes and put them right on the paper towels. We soak the potatoes from excess moisture, otherwise they will shoot oil all over the kitchen. Pour the oil into a small frying pan. And put it on to heat up. First, we heat up to 140 degrees and do the so-called primary roasting. Its main task is simply to warm up the potatoes inside and make them softer. Literally 3 minutes, we take them out of the deep fryer. Each fry must pass to this stage. Done. But now we heat the oil even more, up to 170 degrees. Now we will give the potatoes a crispy crust. Done. Now we transfer them to the paper towels so that the oil is absorbed and it remains crispy for a long time. Our fries for $1 can only be thoroughly salted, mixed up, and served. That's it, they're ready, and they look just fine. Let's taste it. This is like exactly the same as the ones from McDonald's. I think everybody's gonna like this. So now we have products for $10. You can immediately see that everything is more interesting here. We peel the potatoes. Cut them into slices, but already thicker than the last time. And then we make the strips thicker. We put these into a saucepan. This cooking method will differ from the past in that we will achieve the softness of potatoes by cooking them. Therefore, we fill it up with water and put them on to heat up. From the moment of boiling, cook for 5 minutes and drain the water through a colander. We put these into a bowl. Pour in some cornstarch, and roll them up. We will make a deep fryer, and this time we have much more oil. Therefore, it'll be possible to fry everything at once. Preheat the fryer to 170 degrees, and throw in the potatoes. Fry for 3 minutes, and then you can pull them out. Let's salt them. And add some paprika with a super smoky flavor. Now mix and roll them up. In my opinion, it already looks better than the first fries. But we can also make some cheese sauce from this set. Put some butter into a frying pan and melt it onto the stove. As a thickener, add some flour and mix. Pour in the milk, salt, and open up some cheddar cheese. We put this into the sauce as well, and mix it all up until smooth. We pour the ready-made sauce into a sauce bowl. That's it, the fries for $10 are completely ready. Now let's try them. You guys, this is twice as delicious as the first fries. And now we will cook potatoes for the most expensive set of products for as much as $100. First of all, we open up the jar and take out some dried white truffle. Using a knife, we turn this into a crumb. We open up some Parmesan cheese and grate it into a fine powder. Pour some heavy cream into a saucepan. Add the truffle and Parmesan. Now you just need to heat this all up. Stirring constantly, thicken it. There you go. We turn to the potatoes themselves. Here the tubers are already selected. We clean them. Then cut them into medium-sized cubes. We put all the fries into a frying pan. And open the champagne. Pour it into the frying pan. Also, I'll pour in some vinegar. And on the highest heat setting on the stove, under a closed lid, simmer the potatoes for 5 minutes. We drain the already unnecessary liquid. Put the potatoes into a bowl, starch them, and mix and roll them up. We will fry them in duck fat. Open up the jars and pour into a frying pan. To make the volume larger, add a little bit of oil and mix. We warm up the fryer and finally fry our VIP French fries. Like all the ones before, they need to be salted. It's served in a basket. Sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top. Get some truffle crumbs. And finally, for some flair, edible gold. Now we just need to serve our truffle cream sauce. And our French fries for as much as $100 are ready. Let's try them.